Well, hello, children. What's going on? My name is Kevin. I am the host of the KVJ show on 97.9 WRMF. Now, I'm not just some weird guy on your screen. I'm a guy who could open the door to a pizza and ice cream party for your class. Does that sound awesome? I thought so. Here's what you got to do. You got to listen up closely to the story I'm about to read you. It's Sophie Simmon Solves Them All. This is a genius with a problem. Every morning as they walked to the bus stop, Sophie Simmon and her parents had the same conversation. "Have fun at school today, lamb chop," her mother would say, straightening out Sophie's blouse. And Sophie would wrinkle her cute button nose at her mother and tell her, "School is not for fun, it's for learning." But that Friday morning, instead of simply patting Sophie on the head and nodding, Sophie's parents did something that surprised her. "Snickerdoodle," Sophie's father replied. "Your mother and I have been thinking. Perhaps today you might try to make some friends." Sophie tugged at the straps of her backpack. "No, thank you," she said. "I don't need friends." "But Walnut," Sophie's mother said, taking hold of her hand as they crossed the street, "don't you even want one or two friends? All the other children seem to have them." "That's true," said Sophie's father. Sophie scowled at her parents. She was not like other children. Sophie Simmon was a genius. By the time Sophie Simmon was 2, she could recite the alphabet backwards and forwards. The Russian alphabet, mind you. By the time she was 4, Sophie had dismantled her parents' broken toaster and turned it into a working radio that listened to 97.9 WRMF. And at the age of 7, Sophie had successfully performed open heart surgery on an earthworm in the front yard. Since earthworms have 5 hearts each, this was a pretty difficult task. You would think that having a genius for a daughter would have made Sophie's parents delighted. It did not. Eileen and Maxwell Simmon worried that their daughter wasn't well adjusted. They were always quoting the famed child expert Dr. Wanda, who told parents on her TV show that the worst thing they could do was push their children to grow up too quickly. To Sophie's parents, growing up too quickly meant doing anything Sophie found interesting. If Sophie crafted a working robot out of toothpicks and rubber bands, her parents sighed and told her that well-adjusted children made birdhouses. If Sophie taught herself to speak Japanese from a textbook, her parents shook their head and said that well-adjusted children spoke Pig Latin. And if Sophie composed her own concerto on the neighbor's grand piano, her parents rubbed their temples and complained that well-adjusted children played the kazoo. Sometimes Sophie wondered if maybe her parents weren't really her parents. Maybe Sophie thought that she had been switched with another baby in the hospital, a well-adjusted baby. Maybe her real parents were out in the world somewhere right now, wondering why their daughter wanted to play with dolls instead of encyclopedias. But really, Sophie knew that the people who walked her to the bus stop every morning were her real parents, because Sophie had her mother's wavy hair, blonde like straw, and she had her father's blue eyes and the same curvy earlobes. So she most definitely had not been switched at birth. Too bad. "Gumdrop," Sophie's father said as they reached the bus stop. They were the first ones there, as usual. "Isn't that nice boy from your class having a birthday party this Sunday?" "Why, yes," Sophie's mother said. "That charming little boy we met at parents' night. Owen Lou, the one who was afraid of paste. He seemed extremely well-adjusted." Sophie rolled her eyes. If Owen Lou was well-adjusted, then she was the president of Finland. "That's the one," Sophie's father said. "An invitation for the party came in the mail last week. Wouldn't you like to go, Marshmallow? It's going to be a birthday pool party extravaganza. There will be an 8-layer ice cream cake, a high dive contest, and an old-fashioned taffy pull." "Oh, Peanut, doesn't that sound delightful?" her mother exclaimed. "It would be a perfect opportunity to make friends." Sophie didn't answer. She had never been to a birthday party, and she never wanted to go to one either. And she certainly didn't want any friends. Sophie knew for a fact that she didn't need friends. "Oh, Maxwell," Sophie's mother wailed, grabbing her husband's arm. "Where did we go wrong?" Sophie's father was shaking his head. "You try so hard to be a good parent," he said. "And then you find out your 8-year-old daughter is studying calculus." Sophie puffed out her cheeks. Other children were beginning to join them at the bus stop. "But calculus is interesting," she tried to explain. Sophie's father pointed an angry finger at her. Don't you tell me calculus is interesting, young lady. I happen to know that calculus is not interesting. Calculus is math. Sophie's father was right about that one thing. Calculus was, in fact, math, a very complicated kind of math. It involves long equations with letters and numbers and symbols, so confusing that most people avoided looking at them directly, in case their brains would just turn to mush. There were graphs and charts and formulas and silly words like tangent. Sophie loved it. She loved it more than any subject she'd ever studied before. Sophie loved calculus the way other children love roller coasters and trips to Disney World. She stayed up past midnight studying under the covers. She thought about equations while her parents made her watch TV. She even dreamed about calculus, but there was one problem. If Sophie really wanted to study calculus, really and truly, she needed a special kind of calculator. Mom, Dad, Sophie asked as the number 17 bus appeared over the hill in the distance, will you buy me a graphing calculator? I want the Pembo Q60. It's the latest model. It costs $100. There was a pause, a very short pause. And in the pause, Sophie imagined what it might be like to have parents who actually understood her. All right, kids, you know you can find that book in your library. If you want to read more about it, you can yourself. Now, from that story, we're going to be asking a question on the radio Friday morning, 6:45. If you're the first person to call in at 877-979-WRMF, I'll let you write that down, 877-979-WRMF, you win your class a pizza and an ice cream party. Yay! Pizza Girls Pizza is going to be in your classroom, and Bluebell Ice Cream. Plus, you can win an awesome massage for your teacher. Wouldn't that be nice? And some supplies from Office Depot. So make sure you're ready and listen to the KVJ show Friday morning, 6:45 at 97.9 WRMF. Have a great day.